All right, so welcome everyone. This is Social Media Masterclass for 2026. I'm Naja Faysal. So what we're going to be learning today is the following. We're going to learn who is this masterclass for, and we're going to talk about why do you need to listen to this pretty face. So you need to know why I could help. And then the third item on our list today is that why to use social media in the first place, why to bother, right? And then the fourth item on our list today is how to grow and monetize your audience, because growth alone is not enough. So we need to grow our audience and monetize our audience. And then finally, if I deliver a lot of value in the four items above, then I appreciate you tuning in for the last part where we will explain how Parrots Lab can help with your journey down the lines. And then please feel free to be interactive during the session. It's our first webinar, so we're brand new to this, but I hope that it will be the last. We're gonna make a monthly webinar like these, just to make sure that we are giving back and we're educating the community and the business owners who we serve about all the latest and sharing knowledge and what have you. And then with that being said, let's start with who is this for? So this social media masterclass is for high ticket service businesses. So what does that really mean, right? So we're talking about service businesses, there are two types of businesses in the world. There are manufacturing, which is product-based businesses, and there are service businesses. That's it. There's no other type of businesses. So what we are talking about today are service businesses. Now, there's high ticket service and there's low ticket service. A low ticket service would be a restaurant, small item, small ticket like $20, $30, $50, $100 is considered low ticket. But this is not for the low ticket. This is for the high ticket service business. So what are some examples of a high ticket service business? Is a law firm, med spa, insurance, health services, coaching, consulting, and as well as home service businesses like plumbing, HVAC, pest control, etc. So these are kind of the people that will benefit most from this masterclass. However, even if you are joining and you're not part of that category, I'm pretty sure that you will also find a lot of value from what we're going to be discussing. So why you need to listen to me? Well, we've in the first year of business, we've achieved 5 million views across all channels for all our clients. And this is a huge deal, right? To achieve 5 million views is not something that anybody can claim. This is something that is unique to our dedication and abilities to produce that kind of result. We took our company, Parrots Lab, from zero to $600,000 in revenue in also 1 year. So this is kind of like a testament. If we can do it for our business, then we can probably help you as well. And then I personally have worked with big brands in my past, big brands like Shell, Sony, American Express, McDonald's, and others. So we've got the skills and expertise to help you and help your business. All right, so why to use social media? I mean, that's the burning question. A lot of people hate social media. They hate to, show their face and be there. And so why really we need to bother with social media in 2026? Well, let's talk about why not to. It's not to impress friends and family, right? Hey mom, I've got 100 likes on this post. Like, look at me, how cool I am, right? It is not the right reason to engage in social media. It's not to become famous, although being famous is going to help you a lot down the line as a personal brand, and it's going to build your personal brand. But the goal really is not also to be famous or to become an influencer. And it's not for show off either. It's not like to show people how successful we are because of our Instagram account or what have you. So these are kind of the reasons not to engage in social media. Now, what we want is that to grow our business. So the reason why we need to engage in social media is to grow our business. That's the bread and butter. So we are investing time and money, and we need to find a way to get a return on that investment through social media. And the reason we do that is by using social media to generate qualified leads. Now, in the chat, I'd like you to tell me what do you think the definition of a lead is? Like, what is a lead, right? People hear a lot of talk about lead. So what is a lead? A lead is someone who raises their hand and say, you know, whatever you're offering, I might be interested in it. They are not committed to buy. They're not 100% going to buy. They're just interested to learn more, interested to know about your product and service. So that's basically a lead. And without a lead, there is no business. So without a lead, the phone will not ring. If the phone does not ring, we're not making any sales. If we're not making any sales, we don't have income. If we don't have income, we don't have a business. And so leads are the oxygen for the business. So just like we breathe oxygen to live, a business needs a steady stream of leads to survive. So leads are absolutely crucial for any business. And so how we're going to use social media to attract leads. Now, in any typical business, especially the business that we're talking about, the high ticket service businesses, there are two types of customers. There are we call them customers avatars. So there are, and I gave them funny names like Freaky John and Smarty Jen. Freaky John is someone who found themselves in a desperate need for a service, and they will go to Google and they will start searching. They have no idea. There's nobody in their phone book to call to fix that issue. These are people who are they found themselves in a desperate need to buy right now. And these people are only 3% of the population. So if you have a market, whatever you're selling, you have a market, only 3% of that market are Freaky Johns, are people who are interested in buying right now. The rest of the people are Smarty Jen. Smarty Jen are people who are not, they don't need to buy right now, but they are on the ladder, on that steps that you're seeing on your screen. They're either problem unaware or problem aware, or they know there's a problem and they need to be educated about the possible solutions for those problems. And then the 12% are the ones who are actively researching, but again, they're not ready to buy right now. So here's a question for everyone in the chat. Which one do we want in our business? We want Freaky John or Smarty Jen? So let's take a quick vote here. All right, so Smarty Jen, Janine, Diana, Smarty Jen. Excellent. All right, so yeah, the question is, I think I made a little trick here. So the real question is, which one do we want more of? Okay, so we want both, ideally, but which one do we want more of? And the answer is definitely Smarty Jen. If we want to get more Freaky John, we're going to be adopting a hunting mindset. So we'll be hunting for those who are desperately needing our service today. Where when it comes to Smarty Jen, we are indulging in a farming mindset in marketing. It's a little bit longer term. So hunting is a very short term, immediate, where farming is a little bit longer term. These are the two types of customers, and which one do we want more of? So where can you find Freaky John? Is mainly Google, right? Those people who are desperately needing a service, they have nobody they know, like, and trust. And so they go to Google and they start searching. Lawyer near me, accountant near me, real estate agent near me, etc. So now they are looking for Google to find the people. Where if we want to target Smarty Jen, it's social media. So I hope that this slide gives you an idea on what we are doing here. So why social media is important is because it is grooming Smarty Jen to become a customer down the line. It's not going to be now, it's going to be building that relationship with Smarty Jen until it eventually become a lead or a customer. So the reason why I said both hunting and farming needs to go hand in hand is because we want, ideally, in an ideal situation, we want to be both. We want to be optimized for Google, but also we need to be building the trust, building the know, like, and trust, building a brand on social media, and we have to do both of them at the same time in order to win. Imagine if you're in Instagram and you're scrolling and then you see a lawyer, let's say my client here, Chris Markarian. You stumbled upon a video. Who's this guy? Okay, he's a lawyer. All right, I keep scrolling. The next day I wake up and then I'm also scrolling and I see another video of Chris Markarian. He's giving me education. He's giving me value. He's maybe entertaining me as well. So and then over time, I'm talking about 6-7 times I'm seeing their face. And then finally, my friend gets involved in an accident. And I'm like, who do I know? I mean, I don't have his contact information. I don't know anything about him. I just see this guy popping up on my Instagram feed. Now, when I go to Google and I type accident attorney near me, when I see Markarian, I'm like, oh, that's the guy. And now it's an obvious choice. I don't need to think about it. That's the guy that I'm gonna go with. Because why? Because I've seen him. I know, like, and trust Chris Markarian. And that's how Google and social media together, they work greatly. So in the marketing terminology, when I say know, like, and trust, I mean brand authority. That's basically how I understand it. So if enough people know, like, and trust you, that means that you have a strong brand. I mean, think of the recent purchase that you made. If you buy a Nike, why do you buy Nike and not an unknown brand? It's because you know Nike, you like Nike, and that you trust the quality of Nike. And so every single purchase you make, your brain have identified different brands and then selected the brand that you know, like, and trust. And so how we can convert ourselves as a people and our businesses to a brand that people know, like, and trust. And the answer here is short and long form videos on social media. So videos on social media are super crucial in order for us to build the know, like, and trust at a predictable and scalable way. And so that's the fundamental knowledge about how our business is built on. This is what we do for our clients. And let's talk about stats here. 80% of US adults are on social media. So that's an immediate, if 80% of the people in general are on social media, that's a no-brainer reason for us to be on social media. People spend on average 2.5 hours on a combination of these social media platforms. So Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. So 2.5 hours every single day is being spent on these platforms. So this is where the attention is. YouTube is the second largest search engine. So YouTube is not only hijacking our living room, it's not only a social media just like Instagram with the YouTube Shorts, it's also a search engine. So YouTube is so important, and yet a lot of people ignore YouTube. Very few business owners that I meet or talk to have any sort of idea on how to go into YouTube. They're all familiar with Instagram and Facebook, some of them with TikTok, but YouTube is often ignored, and that's a big mistake. And then podcasting. You know, this is my passion. I love to do podcasting, and the stats supports it. Everyone who commutes know that you will be bored with music if you want to listen to music every single day. So what's the alternative to music? It's podcasting. And so the stats support that, with 55% of people are listening to podcasts. The last thing I want to say is that if people spend approximately 7 hours consuming content from your brand, they have a very high likelihood to buy from you. It's kind of, this is the magic number. Of course, it's not going to have to be 7 hours exactly, but it's approximately. If they have watched a reel for 1 minute on Instagram, then they went to YouTube and watch another 10-minute video, and then listen to a podcast. It's an hour video, an hour of podcast. So calculate all of these together. If you cut to have someone to listen to 7 hours of your content, the likelihood for them to buy is astronomical. Why video? You know, I mean, there's so many different formats of content. People like to write blogs and, produce these Canva posts. So why we are talking a lot about video? Why video is king? Well, here's why. These are the stats. More than 60% of internet content consumption is video. So people are consuming video on social media. By far, it's like the biggest amount of people. I don't know how to phrase this, but majority of people are consuming video on the internet and not anything else. And podcasting is also a big amount of consumption as well. So with that being said, the stats is a no-brainer. Video is king, and video is three-dimensional. So when you see people in video, it's not static. There's a soul to it. There's it's three-dimensional, right? Like it's the sound, the visual, the audio, everything. And so the impact is higher when it comes to video. And so the formula for business success is, for any service business, is that we need a steady stream of qualified leads coming our way, people raising our hands and saying, yes, we're interested to learn more. And at the same time, we need to establish brand authority on social media. And once that happens, not only we will make a lot of sales, but also the leads, they come pre-sold. The leads to it. Imagine if you're your favorite YouTuber or your favorite influencer, and then finally you need their service, and now you are going on a Zoom call with them. I mean, you're pretty much sold already because you've consumed so much of their content. So it's not going to be like you're testing them and all of that. No, the trust is already built, so you immediately go into the sales. So that's in a nutshell why we need to care about social media and how we need to think of and approach social media. Right. So why do you think videos are what everyone is using nowadays? Well, as I mentioned, videos are three-dimensional. So if you tell me what's the number one way to actually build trust with people, I will tell you it's in-person meeting. If I get to sit with a person, with a prospect in front of them in person, that would be my number one. Why? Because you get to communicate, you get to build rapport, you get to bond, right? There's body language, there's tone of voice, there's all sorts of experience to help the two of you connect. So you're the business owner and this is the prospect. In-person meeting will be my number one. And that's why people rely on networking to build their businesses, because they could connect with the customer and build that trust. The second best way to do it is video, because video allow you similar experience. Like right now, you're watching me, I'm presenting, I'm explaining things. And so it's the second best thing you can do to build the know, like, and trust factor, because it has all the attributes of in person except the actual physical presence. The only advantage of video is that you record one time and that video can live on the internet for a long time. So in an in-person setting, let's say you are in a networking event, you get to talk to 5, 10 people, 20 people if you're a master networker. But if you create a video with the same amount of time, you get to reach thousands, if not millions of people in that one video. And so the scalability of video is a no-brainer. It's the best thing you could do to grow your audience and build that know, like, and trust factor. So short video plus clear niche plus proof plus soft CTA equals smart clients. 100%. I totally agree with that. Now the next part of that presentation is how to grow and monetize your audience. So growing and monetizing your audience, how to do it, let's talk about that. So first of all, we need to pick a niche. Now, how to pick a niche? I mean, I struggled with that when I got started. How to pick a niche? Now, if you are an established business, one exercise you can do is to look at your book of business in the last year, in the last 5 years, and see what are the different categories or niches that you have been serving in the past. How to grow and monetize your audience? I mentioned that we need to select a niche, and this is I know it's so hard and it's not easy, but I found a way to make it work, at least for me, and I'm sharing it with that slide. So the first thing is, if we have already an established business, if we need to look at the book of business and see the 4 or 5 best niches or industries or type of clientele. And then we need to put them down, and then we need to kind of create those 4 circles and then try to match and put these different categories in these different circles. So the first one is a niche that is having the biggest pain, right? Do they have a big pain that they desperately need it to be solved? Do they have the purchase power to afford my pricing, right? Because, you know, if you think about it, if they are fresh graduates looking for jobs, and this is, of course, they have a desperate pain to find a job, and you're a recruitment firm, is this the right audience? I mean, they have the pain, but they don't have the purchase power to buy whatever services you're offering. And so purchasability is going to be an important factor as well. Is it easy to find them? Are these niches hidden somewhere that you don't have access to a lot of them? And then finally, do you enjoy working with them? So the niche that kind of is in the middle of these 4 circles is a very good niche for you to target. So once that is selected, then we can move on to the next part, is that to build an offer for that niche. And the offer must be very simple, must be easy to understand. And it can fall under that value proposition, which is I help ICP. ICP is the ideal client profile. Basically, it's the same niche that we selected, but we take one person and that would be our avatar, that would be our profile. And we help them with what? We help them achieve the dream outcome that solves their pain. And then ideally, we wanted to add something like a time frame, like in 30 days, in 90 days, in 7 hours, in a year. It doesn't matter, but we have to give them that we help you with your dream outcome in that time frame. And then what is the objection that your ICP and you anticipate your ICP will have? So a lot of people will say, yeah, I can help you lose 30 pounds in 90 days, for example. But people are going to say, oh, what? You're going to put me on a starvation diet, or you're going to put me here and there. So what's the objection that people are going to build in their head that you can address in your offer? And then what is your unique method? So that unique method is the way that make your offer believable. Like, I can help you because I have this system, this proven system. And then finally, we need some sort of guarantee and then a call to action. And that is an offer that we need to build even before we start posting on social media, because this is, have you heard of the term begin with the end in mind, right? So this is how we do it. We build a simple offer, and all we need at the beginning, if you're just starting, we need one ICP and one offer, and that's all we need at the moment. And so once we develop that offer, now we have at least something to talk about. Now, how we're going to package that offer? Packaging is very important. We need to do value stacking, and you're going to see an example of that in the end of that presentation. We need to produce some sort of urgency. We need to have some sort of scarcity. So in my website, for example, in Parrots Lab website, we have like, okay, we are taking 5 more clients. That's it, and then we will reach capacity. So people are going to be, okay, well, I would love to be one of those clients. So yeah, the way we package the offer, social proof, testimonials, etc., is going to be immensely important. Now, what to talk about? This is a question that a lot of people ask when it comes to creating content, what to talk about. And I want to ask you if you have heard of Gary Vee before. Gary Vee is a famous marketer, and he wrote a book years ago. It's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. So the translation of that book is that give, 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 and then ask. That's why, you know, when we're doing social media for our clients, I always tell the social media managers that when you're designing that content calendar, make sure you're giving a lot of value up front, making sure you're producing a reason why people need to follow your account. A lot of it is educational, and I love educational content because educational content gives people a very strong reason to follow your page, number one. Number two, you always respect and trust your educator. I mean, think about your university professors. Think about the people who taught you something. You're always going to be trusting them with your, and it's different from entertainment. Entertainment, today you're watching this guy, Mr. Beast, but then you get bored of that creator. Then you switch to another. It's like you watch a Netflix movie and then that's it. You don't want to watch it again. So you watch. So entertainment content it has a high turnover, where education content, if you love the educator, if you love the content, if it's giving you value, you tend to stick around more. And so when we are doing social media, we want to make sure that we are giving value in every post that we offer, what we do, and then we have the ask for the sale, or ask for a demo call, or ask for an appointment. That should be on a 1-to-4 ratio and no more than that. So that's going to be very important for you to think about. So I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to give a ton of value. Now, what are the content types that you need to look into? Well, my favorite are lists, steps, and stories. So lists are, here are 5 things that you need to worry about this tax season. So it gives the mind love lists. So whenever there's a list, the mind is at ease, and then it's very shareable. They can screenshot it. They can, save that video, because this is all what they need to worry about. A list of 3, a list of 5. Now, steps is another one. Here are like how to accomplish A to B. You need to follow these 3 steps. The same with lists. It gives you a roadmap on how to achieve these steps. And then finally, stories, and this is also my favorite. And I added observations to that, is because stories have been around for all our human existence, right? People love a good story. And so if you can embed learning and package it in a story format, that would be ideal. If not story, it could be an observation. So you notice that people tend to do this, so you create a video about, this is my observation of what people are doing. In addition to the story and observation, there's something called contrarian point of view. So if people are doing this, and this is becoming the standard in that society, now how we're gonna, to stand out, can we provide a contrarian point of view to that to the status quo? Can we provide that contrarian point of view? And that is working tremendously well on social media right now. Now, in any video, in any piece of content, this is the structure that you need to follow. First, you start with the promise, kind of like what I did in this presentation. I started with, this is what we're going to be learning, and you need to introduce yourself as well as a personal brand and why people need to listen to you. And then you need to deliver on that promise. And then you need to invite questions in the comments. And then you need to end with the CTA. Now, you don't have to use every single part, but this is like the ideal scenario for any content piece. Yeah, Janine mentioned here in the chat is that give until your audience asks. That's 100%. So there's a lot of people are talking about this now, and like even you don't need to ask anything on social media. You just keep on giving value until people ask. Now, the thing is, sometimes people won't ask. So you need to be able to find a way to get them to ask. And so sometimes I would say if I want to bet and I'm investing heavily on my social media content, I probably won't ask. But you don't have to ask in organic content. You can run ads and then ask with a paid ad campaign. That's pretty much what could happen And that's what my recommended strategy said. The organic social content is all about giving, but when you want to ask for the lead, just run paid ads. And paid ads will convert better when you have an audience, when you have a brand. And so the last thing what we need to worry about when it comes to growing and monetizing your content, and this is part where we start getting into the monetization, is we need to deplatform. What does deplatform mean? Is we need to take people from Instagram, from YouTube, from LinkedIn into our own email list. And I know that a lot of people will disagree with me, but this is going to be the most crucial, and you're going to thank me later for that. Because when you are growing your audience on social media, and let's say you get 100,000 followers on social media, or 100,000 people engaging with your content, that social media channel changes something in their algorithm, and all of a sudden your content is not being seen by anybody. Well, you lost all of that audience. You did not convert them into any sort of, you don't have means to communicate with those 100,000 people. And so that's why it's very important to take people from those platforms into our own email list, because guess what? When we own the email list, nobody can take that away from us. And this is not cold email. These are people who consented to be on that email list. And so they voluntarily giving us the permission to talk to them on a one-to-one basis. And it's going to be super important to do so. And so how we do it with something like a lead magnet. So, and again, we need to offer something that they cannot get from our content on social. We need to give them a little bit more, maybe a template they can use, maybe a more comprehensive guide, maybe a masterclass, like maybe this one that you're watching right now. So something of immense value that we produce, and we gatekeep it with a lead, with a sign up. So they have to put their email address in there, and that's how we can capture their email address and then communicate with them. And of course, we're following all the standard procedure of, like, there's always an unsubscribe button. They can unsubscribe anytime. And so we have this one-to-one communication with them right now. And that's when the magic happens. That's when we can invite them for a call. That's when the next step could be taken. That's when, have you heard of the top funnel and bottom funnel? So that's the bottom funnel type thing, where we can actually tell them, ask them to buy. Again, the same concept applies: give, and then ask, but then we have a higher chance for them to buy here. All right, so what are the what most creators struggle with? They struggle with consistency. And I struggled with that when I get started with content. It's like, okay, we know that we need to be on social media, so we start taking our phone and then start filming ourselves, and great, we had our first video. Now we need to go and edit that video. So we're installing CapCut on our phone and then start editing that video. And then, if you're not a professional editor, it's going to take you a lot of time and effort to basically get that video done. But you finally made it, and you created a video, and now you post it. Great, you post it. So that whole thing took you between knowing what to say, filming yourself, editing the video yourself, and then posting the video. And then you find yourself burning an entire day to do that. And you're also not happy with the quality that video turned out to be. And so you will tend to give up very quickly. You're like, that's the full-time job. How am I going to sustain all of that over time? So that becomes very difficult. So that's the first thing that people struggle with. The second thing that people struggle with is perfectionism. So, I don't like the way I sound. I don't like what I said here. And they will go into analysis paralysis. They will go into, I don't like the way I look on this pose, etc. So they struggle with perfectionism, preventing them from posting consistently. A lot of people have self-doubt. They don't like how they look, how they sound. They have insecurities. A lot of people care what other people think. what their friends and family think of them. Oh, you're now an influencer, and people are like, because remember, 1 out of 7 people are business owners. So whenever you are trying to become that business owner, you will have 6 people dragging you down. 6 people are pushing you down now because they want you to conform to their standards. And so a lot of people like got stuck on that, and they feel like, oh, okay, that's the problem. Now, the last thing is production quality. I know a lot of gurus and coaches and people on the internet tells you like, all you need to do is take up your phone and start filming yourself, and your iPhone camera is better than all cameras in the world and all of that stuff. I mean, I'm happy to say that that's BS. That's not true. And I have first experience about that. When you're filming with an iPhone or something, it's not as good as a well done production. I mean, as I'm filming right now, I have this camera in front of me that is connected to Zoom. I have 2 other cameras right there who are filming me as well. And so when I finish this presentation, I'm gonna take all of these videos and I'm gonna have them professionally edited with our team of expert editors here at Parrots Lab. And now I'm gonna have professional clips from this presentation. I'm gonna have that presentation is gonna be packaged in the best way possible. And I'm gonna have a production quality that will surpass any Zoom call, any other presentation, even a better presentation than having it in person and film. And so you cannot ignore that production quality is very much essential, especially in today's day and age. Because when I mentioned that YouTube is being viewed on a big screen on the living room, that means that you need 4K. You need the cameras that record in 4K quality. You need professional lighting. I mean, if you look at the lighting here, it's like a full studio setup with professional lighting. You need good microphones. I'm wearing a mic here, and I have another mic right here as well, and I have the podcast mic. So that gear that we spend a lot of money in purchasing this gear. The quality will show. If you look at parrotslabmedia.com and you see all the videos we create, they are stunning. So production qualities do matter, and this is what people are struggling with. Now, as I promised you earlier, if you have been following that strategy so far, allow me in this coming few slides to show you what we can do for you and your business. So this is when we are really telling you about Parrots Lab and what we did and what we created and what we and how are we helping businesses. So we are in a unique position. I haven't seen any other agency that combine a digital marketing expertise, social media marketing expertise, video production expertise, and a content studio all in one roof. Each individual items on that list could be a separate business. And yes, there are a lot of content studios, especially in the LA region, especially in big cosmopolitan cities, Chicago, New York, LA. You will see a lot of studios that you can rent. You go there, and then they sit, they turn on the cameras, and they give you a raw file. There's a lot of people like that, and that's a studio model. There's a lot of video production companies. These are companies that a traditional advertising agency will hire a video production crew to produce an ad or to produce a certain type of video. And this video production company, this is all they do. They have all the gear and the equipment to produce videos. And then there are social media companies who are managing your social media and setting up your paid ads and stuff like that. And there are digital marketing companies that design your website, make sure you rank on SEO, etc., etc. So why we are very unique is that we combine all of these expertise in one company and offering it at a very good price point for small business owners. And so this is basically who we are and what we do. And we have 2 offers. One is a social media offer and the other is a website SEO offer. So the social media, they're very identical with similar pricing. So with the social media offer, we're going to manage your social media across all platforms. We're going to produce high quality videos in our studio, every single month. So you come to the studio for 1 hour, we film, we edit, we script, we give you the script, and we have a teleprompter. So right now I'm looking at the slide, and then you will not notice that I'm looking at the slide. You think that I'm genius delivering all of this presentation looking straight at you. Well, no, I'm not a genius. I have the right gear to allow me to do that. So I'm looking at you with a teleprompter, and I can remove the slide and I can put a script and a teleprompter script, and I can read through it. With proper rehearsal, I can deliver great content this way. So we can script, film, edit, post all of your content with just 1 hour of your time. That's quite an offer, right? So we do also graphic design. So if you notice at parrotslabmedia.com, you will see this stunning thumbnail design. And that's why, because we have a dedicated graphic designer on staff. And then followers growth. We have a lot of tactics to grow your followers organically on social media. So we deploy these tactics that allow you to grow your followers over time. And that is a package for $1,500 a month. If you want to add paid ads to that package, that's an additional $500 a month. So if we're adding, if you want us to run digital ad campaign, that's a $500 a month setup fee. Now, of course, what you spend on digital ads is completely up to you. We will link your credit card to that ad account so that you can target people in different locations, different demographics. So you say, oh, I'm in Redlands, California. I want people in Redlands to see my video. We can set up an ad campaign for people in Redlands to see your video. If you want to be more Inland Empire, you can do that. If you want nationwide, you can do that. If you want globally, you can do that. So that's going to be from the ad team. And so that's the social media offer. And then we have the website and SEO offer. So the website and SEO basically is organically making sure that you rank on top of Google results when people search for your profession. So let's say accountant near me. And if I am in the geographic location that your business is in, your either Google business profile or your website are going to rank on top, because we have a full system to make sure that you will rank, and we can guarantee huge improvements in ranking on specific keywords that we agree with you on. So it's an entire process that starts with keyword research, and then creating content, on-site optimization, backlink strategy, content strategy. All of these work in tandem to make sure that your business is ranked on top of Google. And that's my 50-minute timer done, which means that we are almost done with the presentation. And then from there, there's also the Google Ads section, which is the same pricing, where we help you set up Google Ads for your business. And then that way, that when people are typing accountant near me, even if your organic listing hasn't matured enough to be ranked on top of Google, however, we can force it by paying Google money so that your business rank on top. And then I want to throw a bonus as well, is that if you commit for a year working with us, you will get a free website design. So we will redesign your website, build you a beautiful website for free if you commit for the $1,500 package per year. And that is everything for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in.